Hi guys, my name is Neil and I wanted to mainly do a review for this MAEN Manhattan 37 Ultra Thin. I recently received this 2 days ago from the mail and I want to review, give you a quick intro. MAEN is a micro brand and they've been doing sponsorship with Nico, Leonard, and other social media influencers to really try to get their brand name on the map. This is using the same movement as the 39 Ultra Thin, the ETA 7001 Elaboré Grand Handwound movement with a Sapphire crystal and a lot of AR in my opinion, and then 316 stainless steel. It has 100 meters of water resistance and a case diameter of 37 millimeters compared to 39. Case thickness around 7 millimeters, and if you put on the wrist, it's about 6. And I think it's a great size for thinner wrist like me. And then it has a lug of 47 to 0.4 millimeters. Yeah. And one of the main reasons I want to talk about is the dial. So they introduced this hammered, or in my opinion, a crinkle dial, if you can see that. And there's the AR coming through, making the whole thing blue, versus their Côte de Genève wave dial for the 39. And people are, I guess, split between the two of these. Some people like it, some people like the Côte de Genève. In my opinion, it's a micro brand, and I believe this dial gives it more uniqueness. And of course, it's an homage to the Vacheron model. And to the untrained eye, if I wore this on the street, people would be like, oh, that's maybe a PP copy or something. But after having this dial, it really sets it apart and makes it unique. However, if you only have one watch, I would choose the Côte de Genève wave dial, as I think that looks really nice. And for this, it's a more classical feel with a tamer dial. So I believe, you can really choose both ways. And I think this is a really good decision by MAEN to really have it stand out against the 39 and also having its own characteristics. One thing I want to talk about is the ones on the websites. The render looks nothing like the ones in person. I have to go and search a video of what the blue one looked like to really see that it's more of a gray dial, which is something I like, and I chose the blue one and not the gray one to get a gray dial. But the blue does come in, I guess, a subtlety, if you can see. Let me try using the loom. So as you can see, the dial is really nice. And they have raised loom for every indices. Of course, the finish is what you expect for maybe a $2,000 to $3,000 watch. And I think the finish is quite good. Obviously, you can see some machining, but I think for the price of where it's at, you're really getting a good value for your buck. And as you can see, they made the printed logo into more of a, I guess, like ceramic or kind of, I guess, pasted logo. And a lot of people, when I posted their thoughts and comments on Reddit, they're like, oh, I don't like the name MAEN. But I think it suits them well. They can have a nice printed logo, like maybe like a crown or like any sort of logo, or maybe get a better sounding name. But I think this gives them more uniqueness. And I think in the microbrand world, uniqueness is hard to come by. There's so many homage models. There's so many models that have shiny dials. And at that point, you're better off to just get a branded off watch, because this is not for, I guess, if you only have a one watch collection and you want to rock it every day, that's your piece to go. This is something that you want to add to your collection, have some flavor to it. And this dial and this case size does it perfectly. And I'll show it on my wrist. My wrist size is about 6 to 7 inches, and I think it complements it quite well. You can get the green, which I'm also I also like it as well. And as you can see, it goes quite unnoticed, quite thin. And for 1,300 USD, I think it's a steal. Now, how does it wear? So I've been wearing this daily for the past 2 days. Honeymoon phase. I work in an office environment. It fits under the cuff quite nicely. I get a lot of compliments on this, and people usually overvalue, I guess, the value of this watch. And one thing I want to showcase, maybe other people talked about, is how economically viable this bracelet is. You can definitely see some machining here, and it is just hard cut. There's no rounding of the edges, but if you see, there's a male and female clasp, and if I close it, there's almost no gap here. Well, they've done a great job. And the back case looks nice, not overly done, and quite simple but elegant at the same time. Right now you can probably, I guess, buy them. They're not out of stock yet. You can expect like a week to 2 of them shipping it out to you. And for me personally, I just really like the dial. I think it's quite unique. And compared to something like the 58 Tudor, you might be asking why am I comparing to a diver / GMT, is because the case dimension is almost the same. So this case dimension versus the MAEN Manhattan really gives it off an elegant feel. If you were to wear it to work or just, I guess, daily, if you could, I think this is a breath of fresh air, something that you can get for under 5K that's this thin and looks this good is hard to come by. So what are my final thoughts? I think for the case dimensions, it's quite well, it wears quite good. Go for the 39 if you have a bigger wrist, but for any wrist like me, I would go for the 37. And for the dial, I think it gives it a uniqueness. It gives the micro brand its identity, and not just another homage, but another reinterpretation, another redesign of a already iconic case size and model. And I do believe that MAEN is getting talked about more and more. So I believe there's also brand value to it. And from my own personal, any like cons to the watch, I would just say maybe there's a little bit too much AR. There's too much anti-reflective coating. It makes I guess under the right light, it makes it hard to really appreciate the dial, but it gives it a classy feel. From afar, you can see how reflective it is, and it's quite legible. And for the small seconds hand, I know that I haven't really touched on it, but I really I'm on either side. I don't really need to see a potential small seconds or a seconds hand on the 39, but the fact that they added it shows that they care about what people think. And then I do believe that, yes, you can see that it's automatic by including a seconds hand, but I think just you know what you're wearing, and then you have to appreciate that it's automatic. A running seconds hand can be achieved quite easily, I think. And if you're really into the watches, then you already know that this is an automatic watch. You know that it's MAEN. But yeah, I do appreciate that they added it, and let me know your thoughts. And yeah, if you would like to purchase one and share some photos, that'd be cool as well. I'd love to see this community grow, and I think I have great support for MAEN. Thank you.